You will never guess what's happening in right-wing media, Fox News specifically, and among different right-wing individuals. They're claiming fraud about the midterms, or at least they're asking questions about fraud, their favorite way to allege things without actually alleging them. Take a look at this from Tucker Carlson, and then we'll go through a few different examples.
Really? What is this? Is this fraud? We're not sure. And on some level, it doesn't matter what it is. What we know is that the mechanics of our elections are not working.
I love that. What is this? Is it fraud? Well, that's a big thing to ask. In one sense, it doesn't matter at all. No, it matters. It definitely matters. And then another Fox News host casting doubt as well.
None of it makes sense because they don't want the system to make sense. The longer some of these races drag out for, the better it is for Democrats. Because they've created a system centered around ballots, not votes. It's not about winning your vote anymore. It's not about persuading you. It's about flooding the state with as many ballots as possible and getting them filled out Democrat. And you'll never guess who's involved in the ballot game.
What? That doesn't make any sense. A ballot is the way that you cast your vote, Jesse. It's not one or the other. And so, of course, you can tell this is all centered around the fact that Arizona and Nevada are taking a long time to count their votes, which sometimes in very close races like that, like these, happens. But I'll even admit, we need to make our election processes more efficient. And oftentimes, it is the Republican Party that stands in the way of implementing those election reforms to make them more efficient. We've talked about in certain states where they make you wait to touch or count any of the mail-in votes until election day or a certain time on election day, which is bonkers. We should get ahead of that so on election day we can have answers quicker, but they would come up with a conspiracy about that if that was implemented. And so I agree that, gosh, it is annoying how long it's taking to get these results, but it's not any sign of fraud. It's not good for the Democrats that it takes a long time. It's just taking a long time. Everyone probably hopes that we could get results quicker. And then Steve Bannon saying this is the same thing as 2020.
We've got to hunker down like we've never hunkered down before. We cannot allow them to do to Kari Lake what they did to Donald Trump. And so this is people going to have to, and we're going to have to contest every illegal, non-certifiable chain of custody ballot that Katie Hobbs allowed to come in and support her candidacy. It's just outrageous.
Okay, so I feel like I'm went into a time portal right back to all the exact same claims they were making about 2020 without proper evidence. At least this time they, which is probably really exciting to them, have something to point at, which was that one temporarily non-election negatively affecting in any significant way situation where the tabulators had a problem and they got it fixed and it all worked fine. It looks like no one's votes were prevented from being cast. Again, it was with the tabulation process and it got fixed, but they get to point at that because it was a very real issue in the moment. We got to get this fixed so we can hurry up as proof of some sort of scheme that they have no evidence for. Here is Kari Lake saying people aren't voting for Katie Hobbs. Well, no, they are.
This is just an embarrassment, and the people of Arizona are sick and tired of elections being run like we're in some banana republic, and we won't have it anymore. We're going to win this. Everybody in this state knows we're going to win it. I was running against a basement candidate who didn't even campaign, didn't debate, and the people didn't vote for her. There was zero excitement, and this is ridiculous.
The people didn't vote for her. Well, right now, where the count stands as it is, more of the people voted for her than you. But she could very well win, Kari Lake, of course. More ballots could get counted, very legitimately cast ballots, and she could win, and that would be a part of our democratic process. I would be mad about it, but I wouldn't make a whole conspiracy about how Kari Lake stole it. But for them, they only have one option. Or they have two. They're so generous. It's they either win or it was stolen from them. So that's what we're seeing. It's 2020 all over again. Because they didn't see the red wave, they now have to come up with many different excuses for why they may be losing and keep on doing everything in their power to break down the legitimacy of our democracy. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get access to an extra full show every Saturday that only members can see, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there is a link in the description.